Traders, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get right to the juicy content once again, and it's going to be purely based on the chart and the technicals. I made a video going over my thoughts specifically on the whole week and what happened and kind of how I view us going up next week, just going on everything that kind of happened, and then a little bit of the, conspiracy theories as well, which I absolutely hate because you can't prove any of them. However, we're not going to talk about any of that in this video, just the technicals and just what the chart told us and how you could have made money on AMC this week alone. So let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Let's get to it. All right, so chances are you're not going to be happy because you're not seeing the face today. However, we have a lot of stuff we need to talk about. Now, going into last week, or kind of the middle of this week, this is what we were talking about. So last Friday, this is where we were. And you can see we've made a great little trend onto the upside from that level. However, this is what we were looking at last week on Friday when I mentioned that I was first buying some of those options that did turn out to be profitable. And the second ones are kind of the ones that we're sitting in right now. So what happened is we kept touching these local areas on this trend. And then it appeared that we got a breakout here, came back down, and then we closed the week right above. That was a clear sign that this was in fact extremely bullish and looked to continue this run up, and that we might in turn end this downtrend that we were kind of performing going down. Now, you're also going to see here on the chart, I don't use the crazy indicators such as the MACD, RSI, and then the EMA and whatever else you may see people use. In my opinion, with most stocks on a swing trade aspect, those aren't going to help you that much, but that's just me personally. All I use here is the VWAP. I use the OBV down at the bottom, which I'll bring up here in a second, and then I use price action based on where people are buying and selling the stock, which is obvious on the chart when you really get down to it. So let's break this down even further going into this week specifically. So as you jump in here, you can see we opened and gapped straight up and moved pretty much to $60 in a hurry, and then we struggled from there. Now, when we go back to Tuesday and Wednesday, this is where things got interesting. So on Tuesday, again, we went all up to 64. We came back down, and we end the day on a flag on Tuesday, going into the close. From there, I did go live and tell people I expected a hard retest of that weekly open, which did in turn happen. We had a few perfect bounces, and then we popped right back up from that range. And I mentioned to people, if you were interested in buying calls, that probably was going to be the area to buy them from. You can go check those live streams and videos if you're interested. Now, from there, we had another push, somewhat of a double top in the 64. Maybe we went a little bit higher, almost to 65 in that range today, and that was very surprising to me. However, we need to take a few things into account. One, it is Friday. I do suspect that they wanted to try to push us down below 60 just to kind of have some of those puts in the money, which we explained in the last video. So those puts were completely worthless. And now it's worth mentioning over 700,000 options on the put side were out of the money. So those did expire worthless. And there was over 400,000 that expired in the money on the call side. So that's extremely bullish in favor of the calls and the bulls just on that fact alone. Now, going into this, you can see the clear trend that I have marked out right here, just shaping all the way back up to the upside. It's funny, we kind of have flip-flopped from having this trend here to now having this trend right here. So I want to just point that out, that things are in fact really flipping when you look at the chart on a longer perspective. And I know if you're trading options, you're more interested in the quick swings up and down, but I do want to let you know I think that short-term options are extremely risky with AMC, especially if you have that hold mentality. If you're going 1 week, maybe even 2 weeks out, you got to capitalize when you start getting those pushes and really being conservative with those buys, in my opinion. The option I took this time, I actually grabbed about 2.5 weeks out, which is not for this Friday, the week after. So I'm still feeling very good, and I will most likely reap the rewards if we do, in fact, get that strong bounce going into the following week of going into Monday. So I want to point that out as well. Now, personally, I do see us moving back up. I like this little retrace that we had here down to 57. Now, I have people obviously in the Discord. I'm not calling anyone out or anything like that, but I do want to say one thing is that you have people freaking out, in my opinion, for no apparent reason. Now, I just want to highlight and to see exactly where we came back down to, and it is roughly exactly the 0.618 fib level, which is a perfect retest and a perfect retracement, indicative that most likely this was just a quick, hard, impulsive wave to the downside, and we're going to start pushing back up come Monday morning. Now, what do you want to see Monday morning for confirmation, maybe to enter calls or maybe confirmation to hold your calls? And this is just what I'm doing personally and how I'll be trading this stock. What I want to see is a quick grab above these daily open for Friday, the day we just had. And then I also want to see us get above VWAP. So VWAP most likely going to trend sideways. So if we can get it back above those two areas, in my opinion, I believe it is going to quickly turn bullish, which I still think we are bullish, but you'll have a lot more momentum on the quick intraday side of things. Overall, right now, little things I want to point out is you are holding this trend very well. You are holding it extremely, extremely well. You have made higher lows. You have made and essentially higher highs as well. And so you're looking for this next breakout. I love what I'm seeing here, but what I want to do is come out really quickly to the OBV. So as we look at the OBV, this is something that I'm always using. If you're in the Discord, if you've been on the channel, then you know this is something I am always using. This is the basically prime for any trade that I'm getting into. Now we had a hard pullback here on the OBV. This was actually, in fact, a pretty nice little pullback that we had, but we're still holding this range here, which is something I like to see. You can see the retest there, and then we kind of had a top right there. So I like this area that we are in fact testing. And I think if the OBV can start pushing back up, which you're getting another, like I said, another very hard push back up, a very strong bounce off of that support, in my opinion, this is looking extremely, extremely strong. Now, one of the main issues that we've had, in my opinion, on this week, particularly with options, is going to be the volume. The volume has been something that's really been stagnant, in my opinion, which is in turn hurting the implied volatility and the intrinsic value. But I do think that could possibly change in a hurry for this week, especially with all those calls expiring in the money. All right, so I actually didn't use the iPad for this video, so I'm sorry you didn't get to see the gorgeous face and maybe even the pearly whites or maybe even the biceps on the occasional, Apple Pencil flex. However, I still was able to give you the most content possible. If you like this way better, please just let me know down in the comments, or if you like having the panel of the iPad right here. I really don't know what people like. I kind of just do whatever I'm in the mood for. It's kind of how I live my life, to be honest. I just wake up and I'm like, yeah, we'll do this today. So that's it for the channel, but I hope I made that abundantly clear on AMC and how I see it moving. I think that was really descriptive as well. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll try to answer those as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I will be doing a live stream tonight, but it will be extremely late, around 11, maybe even 12 p.m. a.m. Central. It is what it is, but I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys have an out of this. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Namaste.